All right, Pop.
Start all over again?
Let it rip.
I don't know who or if anyone is interested, but I'm writing about some of my experiences while in the Army during World War II. I can't remember everything, as I was in the fighting from D-Day plus 6 or 8 days to St. Lo, through St. Lo, the Cherbourg Peninsula. I'm writing about things as I remember them. We landed in Normandy, or the Cherbourg Peninsula, going from St. Lo to the Hürtgen Forest from June 12th or 13th to approximately November 20th, when I got wounded. We shipped over on the Louis Pasteur, an unfinished luxury Italian vessel. It took us approximately 5 days or so. We landed in England, stayed approximately a day or two, and then were shipped to France and joined the outfit we were assigned to. That night when we arrived, most of us were dog tired. We hadn't slept for quite a while, so we just laid down and went to sleep. When we woke up the next morning, I saw all of my buddies digging trenches and digging holes. The Germans had bombed the next hedgerow, and they used what they call a blockbuster bomb, and it made a hole as big as I don't know what. That's where the trucks and jeeps were, and the trucks and jeeps were there, and it messed up most of them. We were lucky. That night we were brought to our outfit, the 9th Division, 60th Regiment, Company B, 1st Army. The major in our outfit was written up in Reader's Digest at one time. After the war, he was one hard-nosed SOB. He was tough. That was tough. On the way to join our outfit, we were following a sergeant in a Jeep. As he turned his Jeep into the hedgerow, he drove over a mine, and he was wounded. He was hurt pretty bad, and a few other recruits were also hurt. I just missed that because I didn't make the turn. I just missed the turn, and we had a hell of a night. We had to wait until somebody else came and took us to our outfit. When we got settled, we had to buddy up with another man, dig a hole, and try to rest as if we could. One man had to be on watch at all times. That next morning, we were digging a better foxhole when I looked up and saw someone walking by carrying. That wasn't it. That was the wrong time. Hold on, I just made a mistake. That was wrong. Let me see if that following morning, we were busy digging holes, and then we looked up, and there were planes flying, and there was U.S. planes, and they were like, it started about 9 o'clock, I guess, 9:30. The planes started coming over, and there was we heard there was 5,000 of them going over France, and they bombed Cherbourg, and they brought it to the ground. When we went through Cherbourg, it was just a wall. You seen wall standing. That's all you seen. They bombed the hell out of it, and we were told that they didn't lose one plane on this bombing mission. And that after I joined my outfit, that next morning, I was digging a foxhole. We were all told to dig our foxhole, and and be ready. So I was digging my foxhole, and I see this fellow walking by, and it was a guy that I went to school with. We were both in the same class. His name was Frankie Guido. His father owned an oil company right across the street from where I lived. And we were best of friends. He was carrying a 5-gallon can of water and he dropped it. We must have talked for about a half hour, an hour, but he had to go back to his outfit. He was a sergeant at the time. And he had just come back from being wounded. He had a wound that went right across his lip, right over here. But he ended up being all right. He came back to the outfit. So that was an unexpected thing to see. Then the following day we went out and we were in an attack mode. We were going across a big field. Now this is I shouldn't say it was the next day, it was probably a day or two later. We were going across this field and we were in an attack mode, and he was a rifleman. He was up a little further, and we were in the rear because we were watermen and machine gunners. So all of a sudden I see this guy running back and hollering, and he had gotten a shot. He had gotten a shot in the leg. He was running back again. He was running back to the medics. They said, it's burning. He got to hear him yelling, it's burning, it's burning. And that was the last time I seen him, to tell you the truth, because I didn't see him anymore after that. But I heard that he met up with a tanker friend of mine. His name was, I can't even remember it now. Mangini. Ben Mangini, we were schoolmates too. He met up with him a couple of nights when he came back from being wounded. He met up with him at his tank outfit. They met each other, and he was wounded twice, but this time a shell landed in the area, and Ben was lucky, but Frank wasn't. He got killed. And I didn't hear about this until I got home. Well, anyway, yeah, so I'm looking back to the rear. He got shot. He later killed by tank wire while talking with him. That's it. Like I said before, we traveled through France by truck, tanks, walking and crawling. And when I say we walked through France, Belgium and Germany. We were into Germany, and being scared almost constantly, worrying if we were going to be the next to get it, wounded or killed. Somehow we made it. We saw men crack up before seeing any action, but most of us stayed the course. I had one fellow that came into the outfit. He came in the evening, it was early light. It was starting to get dark, and he started saying, where should I dig in, where should I dig in? And nobody would tell him. They said, pick your spot, because nobody wanted to tell him, because what if we wake up the next morning and we told him where to go and he got killed. So nobody would tell him to just pick a spot and start digging in. So we saw some men cracked up before seeing action, but most of us stayed the course. I can't remember the towns we liberated, but it was from beach at Normandy through St. Lo, Belgium and Germany. At one point, going through Belgium, we were pinned down by enemy tank fire, but we managed to repel them. Our tanks did a job. As you're walking through these towns of fields, we would see tanks on fire with bodies hanging over the torrents, the guns, and trying to get out of the tanks, but it was too late for them. And I'm talking about German soldiers, not American soldiers. It was a scary sight. The German tanks had 88s on them. I don't know if you ever on them. When they fired, you heard the explosion, and then the gun going off. That's how fast they were. You'd hear the boom, and then you'd zoom. You hear the zoom, the noise. That's how close they were too. It was a scary sight. We seen our tanks hit their tanks. Our tanks hit their tanks with armor piercing, and it didn't even dent it. They had these big tanks, these Mark IVs, and they were they were Mark IVs, and they used to put cement on the side of them, right, on the side, so when they got hit, it would help, it wouldn't penetrate. So, but we eventually came up with a tank with a 90 on it, and it started doing it. That's when we really start moving. And let's see what else here.
What, did you have the Sherman tanks?
Huh?
Did you have the Sherman
Yeah,
tanks?
we had the Sherman. The Sherman didn't have a big enough gun on it.
Yeah. Was that
It only had a 70 yet.
70?
I'm not sure. I think it had a 70 or
50?
something like that. They're was an 80. But they were, I'm telling you, their tanks were tough. They were really tough. I'm surprised he really, what's his name?